Hey Earth2, I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. My first topic up for today is an important one. I would not say it's bad news, but it is news that many will find disappointing, which is why I wanted to take ownership and personally deliver this message as opposed to releasing it in written format. The release of the Earth2 white paper will be delayed. This was a decision I did not make lightly. However, on receiving ongoing extensive advice and reasoning from internal and external Earth2 stakeholders and advisors, it was clearly the most logical decision, and I believe will be a decision made in the best interest of the Earth2 community and, importantly, the launch of Essence as a token. I know that many in the Earth2 community have been looking forward to the official white paper release. That is why, although this will be disappointing news for many, I wanted to personally deliver this message, and while doing so, provide reasoning as to why this decision had to be made. There are a couple of fairly straightforward reasons for this delay. The first reason is the present uncertainty in the Web3 crypto and blockchain industry. Ethereum dipped under $1,000 for the first time in 18 months. Bitcoin has lost 18 months of gains, and we don't know where the bottom is. I was warned months ago that this may be coming, and I trusted that advice and delayed the launch of Essence as a token until we could determine what would happen. We've seen the collapse of Luna, now issues with Celsius. Three Arrows Capital is potentially facing insolvency. Various issues with exchanges, even Uniswap apparently having liquidity issues. We see staff being laid off left, right, and center in major Web3 companies. Honestly, the way a lot of DeFi has been handled, Gary Gensler has every right to go after those who abuse the system. I am now very glad that I made the decision to delay the launch of Essence. I'd prefer to be making this announcement than to have launched earlier and now be looking at results that would not accurately reflect the true potential of Essence as a token. I am told it could get worse before it gets better, and in fact, some of the things occurring at present in this space may even alter the way we plan to deploy the Essence token. That's how concerned we are at the moment. Now, I'm not saying that bear markets don't have their opportunities, and part of me is curious to see how Essence might perform even in a bear market. But the bottom line is that timing is important, and we need to continue monitoring the situation before launching Essence as a token. This brings me to the second reason. If we're not launching Essence as a token soon, then there is no point releasing the white paper. The white paper needs to be released in close proximity to the launch of the Essence token, so interested people have more or less immediate or close to immediate course of action. Our white paper being released in close proximity in the lead up to the Essence token will provide the most effectiveness and avoid frustrating many people who would like to buy the token but could not after reading the white paper. There are a number of details in the white paper that will probably cause some panic, FOMO, hype, and much of that would be lost on the initial launch of the Essence token if we released the white paper with too big a gap before the actual launch of the token itself. Most of you who have been following Earth2 closely understand the big picture. You see the progress and generally understand what we are doing and what we want to achieve. That is your privilege to have such understanding due to the fact that you've believed in us and followed us so closely, and it has been your benefit to act on such understandings. So right now, we're not super focused on expanding our user base. We're focused on building, and we're lucky enough to be in this fortunate position where we have a fairly long runway to build cool things before setting out for the next wave. We're not expecting any miracles if we launch a token in this bear market. However, that doesn't mean we should completely throw caution to the wind and ignore the current state the Web3 blockchain and crypto industry has found itself in right now. It also doesn't mean we should ignore clear opportunities that will help the launch of the Essence token perform to the best of its ability. And our advice has been clear. Releasing the details of our white paper closer to the launch of Essence will help make it even more successful. That is largely due to the content of the white paper. We will not simply be sitting on our hands waiting until that happens. This opportunity to build more will allow us to get closer to releasing E2 V1 and also closer to releasing other features that will provide more utility to Essence, such as upgrading from Tier 1 to Tier 2 land, using Essence to replicate resources into raw materials in the ecosystem, power buildings, vehicles, units, and much more. The more utility we can have for Essence at the point of launch, the better. It's that simple. So when we launch Essence as a token, we will have the white paper. We will have a pretty amazing video of E2 V1 footage, and we will be closer to having more features utilizing Essence inside of Earth 2. I'm guessing there will be a bit of information overload when this happens, but each part will contribute toward the best possible launch of Essence under the current circumstances. Although we're not releasing the white paper, I'd like to still share a few details with you. I know a few people have spoken about the Earth 2 team allocation of Essence, and I can confirm that the 36-month vesting period has not even started yet and will not start until the token launches. So we are not counting from the launch day of Earth 2, but the launch of the Essence token. So long as nothing changes, the way things will work is that players will be able to create a wallet from inside their Earth 2 account and will be able to transact Essence from the Earth 2 platform into the wallet and from the wallet into the Earth 2 platform. Earth 2 will not be holding any keys for these wallets. So they will be created by the account holder when the time comes, and the account holder will be responsible for keeping those keys safe. You'll see an entire list of steps and be handheld through the entire process from within the Earth 2 platform, and we will be urging players to only use these wallets to hold Essence, as is the best practice these days, having separate wallets for different tokens or currencies. Accounts will need to have 2FA activated, and we may also request that accounts be validated before Essence can be sent to the wallet. This significantly mitigates the potential of accounts being hacked and Essence stolen from Earth 2 accounts. If you haven't yet validated, please consider doing so to have that step done just in case it does become a requirement. We use Humio or Jumio, who are great operators. You only need to validate your identity if you want to trade or make money inside of Earth 2. If you only want to play, create, and do things for yourself, you do not need to validate your account. It costs us money every time someone validates, so it's not free for Earth 2 to validate our players. But we don't want dodgy people scamming others on our platform or abusing our platform for money laundering or other activities. We implemented validation to comply with government policies around the world. It also puts us in a good position for future plans we have for Earth 2, which I cannot talk about right now. So the Essence token allocation percentages will change a little in the official release. The team allocation will be reduced. There will still be 51% or more for the community. There will be some extra allocations for centralized exchange listings and a few other tweaks. I'll try to share more little pieces of information, but I will be offline for a few weeks after this video is posted, as I will be traveling to the UK and Europe. So I'll try to share more details via my socials once I return, and we'll aim to include maybe answering some questions from the community in those videos too. Though we have released 12 updates throughout Q2, so that's 12 releases over the past 3 months, with one more to come, so it will actually be 13. We are unfortunately not going to make a number of the Q2 roadmap releases in time. I guess this is the problem with predicting things in advance. Issues arise. Employees get sick, employees relocate, and things change. For example, we have had to focus on other developments, and fixing some issues has taken longer than expected. I am pushing the team really hard to have the first release of resource validations live before Q2 is over, and we are expecting 홀로빌딩 trading to be ready by mid-July, so a couple of weeks after Q2 finishes. Some of the other releases will come later, as we needed to assign resources to other more urgent features. The Earth 2 credit cards are more or less ready, but I don't want to release those until we see resource validation and 홀로빌딩 trading in a stable position. I've heard that some players were concerned about the long-term purpose of holobuildings. The idea of players being able to create and place holobuildings was first conceived to support player creativity. So they were first and foremost introduced as a visual thing. Other players could create and place on their properties to beautify their properties and make them more personalized or unique. We then thought that it would be cool to add some additional purpose or utility to this player-generated content. So we attached an ecosim benefit of storage to those who created and placed holobuildings on their properties, with those players being able to receive retroactive storage space for when the resource part of the ecosim goes live. This benefit alone would be rewarding enough for many. We did initially invest a notable amount of time developing the first version of holobuildings, and then a little bit more to stabilize and improve it. What we saw over time just blew us away. The amazing holobuildings that players started to create really inspired our team to push further, as we wanted to support those specially talented players creating such masterpieces. From that point on, we spent considerable more time building and improving our holobuilding editor, from fixing bugs and improving performance to incorporating player feedback. But there is more to be done, and we have a few things that we are planning. So we'd like to do things like improve the editor user experience and user interface by displaying more detailed error messages about building issues and providing precise controls to make modifications. We'd like to add a layer or group system where you can treat multiple polygons as one. So you can drag them easily, duplicate them as one, and etc. We'd like to make it easier to select the exact polygon that you want. We want to offer benefits to holobuildings placed on, say, tier 1 properties. For instance, taller buildings that could be allowed. We want to allow players to customize how holobuildings appear. For example, different materials, different colors, control over emissiveness, reflection, possible custom textures. We want to improve polygon operations, unify, difference, intersect, match borders, such that they understand current selection better. We want to provide players with a way to download their creations, their holobuilding creations and blueprints, into a file format compatible with 3D printers. So these holobuildings could also be printed. So what started as an initiative to support player creativity with a little bonus utility has slowly turned into a powerful little tool that people have used to create amazing and desirable content. We've invested a lot of additional time into the holobuilding editor since its launch, and our plan is to find more ways for these creations to have their place around the Earth 2 concept. Our Phase 3 team is heavily focused on the progress of E2v1, so we have not yet had time to technically confirm how holobuildings might appear inside that open digital world. However, we do plan for holobuildings to live in their own filtered version of App2 at the very least, and we do want to build games that will include holobuildings in that layer. We want to allow owners of holobuildings and holobuilding blueprints to have versions of their holobuilding as accessories and items, be able to holographically display their holobuildings from a device carried by their avatar, use them as actual interactive 3D structures inside Earth-2 holodecks, display mini models in their virtual personal spaces, and we will continue to add to this list over time. The creative success of holobuildings has now arrived at a point where we are launching an entire marketplace for holobuildings alone. This will pave the way for other player-created content. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we expect version 1 of this feature to be ready as early as next month, and I can tell you I will be one of the first players buying a holobuilding. I cannot wait. Our long-term goal will be to add the most successful holobuilding designs as interactive 3D buildings inside of the Earth-2 open world. But this will be something realized over a period of time and will depend on which holobuildings perform best in the holobuilding marketplace. The bottom line is, we are really happy with the creative Earth-2 holobuilding editor we developed, and even more impressed with the amazing creations our players have made using our software. So we are certainly invested in the long-term involvement of holobuildings and Earth-2. So for those 홀로빌딩 creators who are concerned about the future of their creations, your creations are in good hands. The next thing I'd like to talk about is during the game. Specifically, this is for during the game community. I'm aware there are people in the drone community who would simply like to receive some assurance that the game will continue to be developed. So I wanted to take this moment to assure those of you who are concerned that this is still very much our plan. In fact, we have been sourcing a team who will focus on finishing some of the remaining promises made by the FSI team. I didn't just want to make an official announcement until we had secured the agreement, but I realized that a lot of the drone community just wanted some insurance. The FSI team are just extremely talented, so it's not so straightforward finding similar talent to replace them. But we are committed and we don't want the game to just fizzle out. For the sake of transparency, the idea will be that we will continue working on Drone the Game as a standalone game because I have heard this is what the drone community wants, and I am going to try and make this happen for you guys. While completing some of these unfinished parts, we will have a second identical project that will be branded under Earth 2 to become part of the Earth 2 P vs. P initiative. I understand that most in the drone community do not want to play drone inside of Earth 2, so I'm planning to keep your game separate. Once we have developed the core official promises made by the FSI team, we will reevaluate the situation from a community, activity, and general project support perspective. If everything looks healthy, the game could turn into anything, and we're excited to see what it could become. Now, for a few weeks, I will not be online as often. There are a number of various people and firms that want to meet me for various reasons, including a bank, so I will be meeting with some interesting people, but I'm also really hoping to secure some additional talent when I'm away as well. And I am really looking forward to linking up with a number of the Earth 2 team members when I'm over in Europe. We will all probably be meeting in Paris at this stage, I think. I'm hoping to get in a little downtime too, as the second half of this year is going to be seriously intense. I have received a number of kind requests to meet me when I'm over there, and I would love to meet some of the passionate Earth 2 community. I'm not sure whether this would be a publicly announced location, but if I get time, I'll see what options we have. In my absence, the community managers and some of the team in Australia will arrange some country release countdowns and mentor gifting promotions. We want to help new players get their mentors set up quickly. So thanks for listening, and until next time, keep safe, keep well, and take care.